My therapy, my escape, my trophy. It didn't blast music at 2 a.m., it never revved obnoxiously, it definitely didn't go over 20 miles per hour within the gated neighborhood. But somehow, it triggered a very specific kind of unmedicated jealousy in our HOA president. Welcome to Prodigy Chronicles. Make sure to like, subscribe, and buckle up. This is top-tier HOA drama. It started with a letter, not a polite note. Number. This was pure, Marjorie-certified chaos slapped onto my windshield. Your car is a threat to our community. It's far too fast, intimidating to children, and violates the spirit of peaceful living. You have 2 weeks to remove it before further action is taken. I laughed. Hard. I took a picture, saved it to my Marjorie Chronicles folder, and thought, surely. She's not serious. I wasn't speeding. The HOA rules didn't mention anything about car types, and honestly, if anyone was a threat, it was Marjorie, doing 50 in her Range Rover while screaming at squirrels. Fast forward to day 14. I walk outside, coffee in hand, and stop dead. My McLaren, wrecked, not keyed, not scratched, demolished, windows shattered, paint stripped, tires slashed. It looked like something out of Mad Max, Suburbia. I stood there, stunned. Then my neighbor, wide-eyed, walked over and whispered, "Hey, I saw Marjorie and the landscaping guy doing something to your car last night. Thought it was weird." Thought it was weird? Nancy, that was weird enough to call the cops, but I didn't scream, didn't cry. I smiled. Because Marjorie didn't know. There's a security camera hidden inside my porch light. I walked inside, calm, collected, pulled up the footage, and there she was, in full psycho-suburbia mode, swinging a hammer, yelling about vehicular threats, like she was auditioning for The Purge, Homeowners Edition. I paused the video, picked up my phone, called my lawyer. Marjorie wanted the car gone? Congratulations, now you're paying for a brand new one. She probably strutted home that night like a vigilante, defending the cul-de-sac from the evils of luxury performance. But she forgot one thing. I've got legal rights and video evidence. I handed everything to the cops, time-stamped footage, Nancy's witness statement, the works. Even the officer reviewing it said, "Wow, she's not even trying to hide it." No ski mask, no gloves, just Marjorie in her floral housecoat with a sledgehammer, like it's gardening day on a Lamborghini. The HOA tried damage control. They issued an official apology. Unsigned, of course. Marjorie? She doubled down. When the officer showed up at her door, she declared she was the victim. That car was a missile on wheels. I was protecting the children. Oh. So now vandalism is community service? She even tried blaming me for tempting her to commit a crime, like my McLaren was the devil whispering, "Smash me." And here's the kicker. She pulled out the HOA handbook like it was the Constitution. But guess what? Nowhere, and I mean nowhere, did it ban specific vehicles. I read it twice, just to be petty. I highlighted the HOA rules, the real ones, and emailed the board with the subject line, "Marjorie's favorite fictional rules, annotated edition." By the time we reached the civil suit stage, I had a case so airtight my lawyer was practically drooling. Property damage, trespassing, harassment, defamation. Thanks to her neighborhood-wide emails branding me a reckless speed demon. And emotional distress, of course. Can't forget that one. Marjorie showed up to court with nothing but a clipboard, a bad attitude, and a stack of blurry photos of my McLaren legally parked in my driveway. No lawyer, just confidence. I almost felt bad. Almost. But the moment that sealed her fate? When the judge asked, "Miss Marjorie, are you admitting to damaging the plaintiff's car?" And she snapped back, "I was doing what the HOA should have done months ago." Silence. That glorious courtroom kind of silence that tastes like victory. One more hearing. Then the ruling would be final. Marjorie waddled into the final courtroom like she was about to receive an award for Neighborhood Defender of the Year. Meanwhile, I sat there, calm, composed, sipping court-approved water like it was $400 champagne, which she'd soon be paying for. My lawyer opened with a slideshow. Slide 1. A high-res screenshot of Marjorie mid-swing with a hammer, looking like a deranged DIY host from a home demolition special. The judge raised a brow. The courtroom gallery murmured. Marjorie coughed loudly, like that was going to erase the evidence. Then came the emails. Oh, the emails. Marjorie had gone full digital warrior, sending out multiple blasts to the HOA accusing me of being a public menace, a reckless speed demon, and my personal favorite, the Fast and the Furious, embarrassment. My lawyer printed them out on glossy paper, just for dramatic effect. Marjorie screamed, "This is out of context!" The judge leaned over his glasses and said, "Ma'am, it's your email." Then came her turn to speak, and she doubled down. "That vehicle was a threat to every child within 5 blocks. That kind of horsepower doesn't belong near families." The judge calmly asked, "So, you destroyed it?" "I neutralized it," she said, without flinching. Even the court reporter paused. Then I took the stand. I calmly explained that my McLaren had never gone over 20 miles per hour in the neighborhood. I showed GPS logs, noise decibel reports, and statements from neighbors who confirmed they'd never even heard it roar. I ran a full Mythbusters episode on her paranoia. When the closing arguments ended, the judge sighed and leaned back. "This is one of the more unusual cases I've seen, but the evidence is overwhelming. Miss Marjorie, you are liable for the full cost of damages." Marjorie blinked. "Wait, what?" "You'll pay full replacement value of the vehicle, including upgrades, court fees, and a fine for harassment." Her jaw hit the table. I smiled, because I'd already ordered my new McLaren. Same model, same matte black. But this time, I added custom red calipers. Had "Thanks, Marjorie" stitched into the leather headrests. Subtle? Maybe. Satisfying? Beyond words. Meanwhile, Marjorie had officially entered financial hell. Replacing my car, plus damages, legal fees, and the judge's harassment fine, cost her nearly $300,000. Rumor had it, she had to sell her beloved white Range Rover, take out a second mortgage. Her husband quietly stepped down from the HOA board. The landscaper refused to return her calls, and her poor poodle developed stress-induced alopecia. Karma? Working overtime. I drove my brand new McLaren through the neighborhood at exactly 10 miles per hour, speakers blasting the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Marjorie stood motionless on her lawn, watering her roses, staring at me like she just saw the final boss in a video game she absolutely failed to beat. She tried saving face at the next HOA meeting, claimed she acted in good faith, and said the court system was biased against safety advocates. Nobody bought it. Nancy brought popcorn. The HOA unanimously voted to remove Marjorie as president. One board member even suggested banning her from meetings for threatening the peaceful nature of the community. As for me, I installed a brand new surveillance system. Marjorie never walked within 10 feet of my property again. She avoids eye contact like I'm Medusa driving a luxury serpent. Oh, and I framed the original complaint letter, the one she left on my windshield. It's hanging in my garage, right next to a still frame from the security footage of her swinging that hammer like she was summoning Thor. Sometimes I sit in my car, admiring the interior. The "Thanks, Marjorie" embroidery. And the court receipt framed behind glass. I didn't just win because I got a new car. I won because I reminded every person in this neighborhood that a title like HOA president doesn't make you judge, jury, and executioner. And if you try to destroy someone's property over your own imaginary rules, you just might end up losing everything over a grudge against a gear shift,